Now back around for Demidov. Power play expires. Working in. Demidov off to line A. Back through the middle. Demidov back in. Scores! Ivan Demidov! Tie game at the Bell Center.
Habs lunch, Campbell versus Gell here on TSN 690. And what a great night it was for Demidov last night with a goal and an assist. Factored in on the first goal of the game with a beautiful pass to Alex Newhook, and then scored the game-tying goal to even things at 4 at 7:19 of the third period. And I know so many of you want more Demidov.
More.
Feed me more.
Yes.
Feed me more. So Demidov played 14:43 last night, including 2 minutes and 3 seconds on the power play.
Yeah.
And Campbell, I think the Canadiens are in such a good spot here because Martin St. Louis can be patient and pick his spots. If you look last night, yeah, the ice time, maybe you want to see it a little bit more and you want to see it in that 16, 17-minute range. And I know for a lot of you, you already want to change things up on the power play and put Demidov on that power play. But he picked up 2 points last night and scored the game-tying goal. Also, in the third period, it was evident that Martin St. Louis, when trailing, cut down the bench. Right? We saw a little less of Oliver Kapanen. We saw a little bit less of Patrick Laine, except for when he was out there on the second unit of the power play, which, spilled into 5-on-5 play and then sets up Demidov on that brilliant goal to tie the game. But Martin St. Louis was cutting down the bench. But for the most part, he tends to distribute the ice time pretty evenly right now. And we've spoken about it. The Canadiens don't think they have a first, second, third, and fourth line. They think they have a first line and then three
Everybody
lines
else.
that are pretty even. But at some point, and I think it's going to be like Hudson, at some point, Demidov is going to be given more. And at 5-on-5, with all due respect to the players he's playing with, there are better players on the team. And I do think the Canadiens' power play eventually will feature Demidov on the first wave because he's that darn talented. He has so much talent. But Martin St. Louis has the ability to be patient here. And last year he did it with Hudson. And then when the Canadiens forced his hand by the way Hudson played, coupled with the way the power play wasn't performing up to snuff, now all of a sudden you make the change, and I think that'll be the same case for Demidov. So, Campbell, it's 4 games into the season. Everyone needs to be a little bit patient here if they want to see more Demidov, more ice time, more responsibilities for Demidov. But St. Louis, he's got a team that's 3-1. He's got a team that's playing well, and he's got a player that's performing so far. So no need to rush things along here.
Yeah, well, it's simple. You're winning. You don't need to change that much. Even though you're winning, the question still will be out there for more responsibility for Demidov. And the biggest question is, like you said, I think the first stage would be the power play. And then the second stage would be playing with Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield. And where's that spot? Now, maybe you want to take Bolduc off and put Demidov on, but I think that they're happy with where Bolduc is on that power play. The big question, I believe, will be Slafkovsky. And it's going to turn into this. Fair or not, you're going to have this internal battle on the Montreal Canadiens, Slafkovsky versus Demidov. For power play time, for time with Suzuki and Caulfield. That is maybe not happening now, but it will be happening in the future. And if it doesn't happen, it will be brought up on a daily basis in this city. Even before the season began. With the success that the Canadiens' top line had down the stretch last year with Caulfield, Suzuki, and Slafkovsky. In the playoffs last year, Demidov should take Slafkovsky's spot. Demidov should take Slafkovsky's spot. Now we're in the season. I'm already hearing it. Fair or not. How do you quiet that? Slafkovsky has to produce at the rate that Caulfield and Suzuki are producing at.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is where it is. It's the power play spot, and it's the line, and it's the spot on, like you said. There's a number one line, and there's 3 other lines. But a lot of people are already putting their hand up. Demidov's the number one guy, number one line guy. And it's good to have number one players on deeper lines. But we're 4 games this season. This question is already here. So fair or not, that will be the debate moving forward for the Canadiens. It's less of a debate. They're winning. Marty St. Louis has all the time in the world to pick and choose what he wants to do. And why would he stir the pot against Nashville this week when his team just put up five goals? But it's a question because people are asking it.
And look, this comes on the heels of Demidov having a real standout performance and Juraj Slafkovsky's game leaving something to be desired yesterday. Slafkovsky did not have a good game. A couple errors with the puck. Took a bad hooking penalty when he was knocked off his feet. And those are the situations, Campbell. So, to me, I understand what you're saying. But the two players are just so different as far as skill set and what they can bring to the ice.
I agree.
That I don't really like. Slafkovsky needs to be the best version of himself, and Demidov needs to be the best version of himself, and maybe we could even see them play together at some point.
Oh, sure, but I'm just saying I could already foresee what the big debate will be in this city. Mm-hmm. I could already foresee. I'm just asking a question, I'm almost foreshadowing to you that that's what will be. You have to choose one or the other on the top line.
Slafkovsky has to learn how to assert himself physically. Like when he took the hooking penalty, that's when you want to see him knocking somebody over rather than getting the stick in there with the hook. I do think at some point we will see some adjustments to the lines. At 5-on-5, Campbell, though, I think Slafkovsky is the perfect fit with Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki.
Yeah, the physicality that he brings,
and
that he
size
has been
and
bringing.
the ability to create some space.
Well, Demidov creates space differently, though,
right.
But he has to have the puck. Slafkovsky's the guy that gets the puck. So there's the way that you piece a line together. Mm-hmm. I understand the nuances and you look at one player and another player and will this work, will this not work? And we can piece together lines all we want here on a radio show on Papineau Avenue, but they're behind the scenes. I'm just saying I know what the debate's going to be.